The Groomer Next Door is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Welcome to the Groomer Next Door. You're listening to my mommy and daddy.
And now our feature presentation.
And he is your host, my mommy and daddy, Kristen Stella Green.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to the Groomer Next Door. This is episode 65 on a very beautiful day in February, which is weird. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is the ever-fabulous, the ever-wonderful, and the ever-talented Sarah.
Hello.
Well, this week we have a great deal going on. We actually had a wonderful guest stop by the Groomer Next Door studio from Tropiclean. He's the co-owner of the company. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
I'm so excited.
It was an amazing opportunity, which of course, we've had the luxury of meeting him before. Everything that he said when we met him the first time stood with us. Talking to him again this past week, again, just rebuilt all of my enjoyment of talking to him.
Well, what was great when we met him over at the West Plains Veterinarian Supply Convention.
WPVS. You actually got that out. I cannot get that out. I just go WPVS.
Well, I don't know.
That's the only way I can do it.
I talk to our distributor so much that it kind of just comes naturally. Anywho, speaking to him there, he wasn't doing sales pitch. The first thing I went in to tell him, look, I'm already confident in your product. I just want to know more.
Now, we'll talk more about that in a little bit.
I was just saying is that it wasn't a sales pitch. We weren't, swooned by a sales pitch.
No. We
are supporters of the actual product.
Yes.
And we want to make that very clear.
Very much so. And what was funny is that he doesn't come across as a salesperson. We have had the luxury of actually meeting a lot of salespeople, and we've had the luxury of meeting different, owners, co-owners, founders. There's a difference within those. There's a very big difference.
The confidence, you'll hear in the interview his confidence in his company.
Oh, yeah.
And the pride he takes in the company. And that just makes all the difference in the world. So,
and a huge fan. I mean, it's funny because you become a fan of different products, different regiments, different things in every kind of business that you're in. I'm sure that some of you guys are in all kinds of walks of life. There's probably things that you guys are really fond of that's in your world.
So we'll explain to you why we are so fond of Tropiclean.
Right. We have a couple things, we wanted to, of course, put in as well. We have found that, doing a show each week, one of the things that Sarah always says is, how are we going to come up with content after the 5th episode?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of easy when we spend so much time around animals, and we're very fortunate to be around different organizations and unique people. So every week the stories just kind of they're presented to us almost in the beginning of the week. So
we see roughly between 6 to 10 dogs a day, and that's 5 days a week. That is 6 to 10 different stories each day for those 5 days.
Right.
So some of them are just stuff that we've already covered, simple things. As summer gets approaching, we'll start talking more about fleas and ticks and matting and
Yummy.
and such, and skin burning and all those other lovely stuff that comes during summer. But this working at the salon, it just brings up stories as it goes, and that's kind of what happened with this week when it comes to stress in a dog.
Yeah, the title of this episode is going to be different types of stress. That's going to be what we're going to lead off of, because
you can't forget about February being Oral Health Month, Pet Oral Health Month.
That's the next thing. And then, of course, then we'll segue to our absolute phenomenal guest. So we'll kind of go into this past week. A lot of things took place. I mean, we're continuously busy out at Shadowwood. We have a great deal going on when it comes to still renovations that are going on. That's actually starting to come too. I mean, Ryan is amazing.
Yes, Ryan McKay. You can find him on Facebook. He is a local. He's more than a handyman.
Oh, he's no handyman. He's
can do
beyond.
more
He's
than
carpenter and He's contractor,
electrician,
yeah,
plumber. I mean, this guy can do everything.
And fireman.
Yes, and a fireman too.
Yeah.
But he can be found in Rolla, and I'm pretty sure he'll travel to certain places around the area.
Yeah.
If we have any local people that are looking for a handyman.
No contractor.
Contractor.
No handyman. This guy is beyond handyman. I know what handymen are like.
He charges a little bit more than most, but you're gonna get guaranteed work and done properly in a timely manner too. So look up Ryan McKay on Facebook in Rolla.
I gotta actually put a little bit of a moment and talk about the Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for our show, which I started when we first started the show a year ago, but I kind of just let it go because, well, Podcast 101 is social media based. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I was always told you go to Twitter. Twitter doesn't do a darn thing for me. I mean, we get tons of followers, but it seems to be like, we're here to promote our stuff, and that's it. So it was weird. So we went back a week ago and just started working on our Facebook page, which is the Groomer Next Door podcast. And we went up, what was it, 130 likes within a week. So we're absolutely just picking up. So if you're actually one of the people who actually caught us on Facebook, thank you. If you haven't liked our page, come on over and give us a like.
Yeah, you're in this kind of friendly competition about how many likes Shadowwood's Facebook page, which I moderate, and how many likes you get on yours. You still have 80-some to go.
I'll get that within a week.
When I first started handling Shadowwood's Facebook page, we were only at like 90 likes or something, and we're all the way up to 132.
No, 200.
Or 232,
yep.
Excuse me, 232. So friendly competition.
Well, yeah, we actually, again, we didn't do anything on our page. I mean, I every day have, something I'll talk about, something that's going on with us, and it just a bunch of stuff. I put the podcast stuff on there, early access to the video podcast. They go on there.
Little sneak peeks.
Yeah, little bits
of stuff in there.
So that's been really cool. Actually, we hit 100 with just last week. We hit our 100 mark, and it was so weird because it was something I never touched. It was weird. Sarah's the one who brought it up. I was like, hey, you need to do something with that. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. All right, so let's kind of segue into what happened last week that actually brought this whole different types of stress story to light.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the first dog of the week.
The first dog I touched, Chris went and washed, and the dog had stress issues.
I didn't know that at the time.
Well, you could tell when the dog walks in, he was just scared of the anticipation of what's going to happen. The scared, stressed out of being washed, the blow dryers, the noises, dogs barking. This type of stress is very common. It's typically up to the groomer to make it as positive as possible for this pet, and it's up to the owner to bring him in on a regular basis, meaning every 6 to 8 weeks.
Now, I'm going to actually have you stop there. That's what brings up this week's video podcast. It's going to be a puppy getting its first bath at 9 weeks old.
Yep, very first bath. The owner knows how important it was to get the dog in as soon as possible. The puppy had all of its shots up to date, except for the rabies, because they don't get rabies until they're about 5 to 6 months old. As long as they have the actual puppy shots to protect them against anything that is high traffic dog.
And so you'll catch that video on Wednesday. That'll be on our YouTube channel. And, you can catch up with that when you actually hear that one. But I wanted to, say that's kind of where all this can start with. So carry on. I'm sorry.
Okay, so when you started drying the pup ended up, pooed a little.
Well, it was like a bubble explode, and I looked back there and I went, okay, I know that I cleaned his rear, but it was just corroded.
So he had a little bit of, what's Katana barking at?
I have no idea. If you haven't noticed, there's a little bit of sound probably in the back, where actually it's such a beautiful day, we are recording outside. Katana? Go on, keep going.
Okay. What's funny about that is Katana never barks. The only time Katana barks is when she actually feels like there's some kind of threat to our area. Most Akitas are normally very quiet. If you get close enough to hear them bark, you're too close. So I think Katana sees a cat down the street. But what's great about Katana and Roxy is they will not leave our yard. So we don't have that worry, that strong training there.
Yeah, that's not because there's an electrified fence or anything. There's nothing. These dogs have been trained not to leave.
Katana. She's just...
Go on. Keep going. She's fine.
And Roxy doesn't care. Roxy's over here like, love me. Love me. Okay, anywho. So Chris went to go and rewash it. And by rewashing, a dog takes a huge chunk of our time, because you can't just use some baby wipes to wipe off the bum and call it good, because there's still stench. There's, leftover feces. It's not
discoloration.
Right. Yeah. So, I said, okay, well, let me blow dry while you get our other pup started so we can get through our day. And, he rewashed. I held him in the towel as long as I could, trying to time myself to where we didn't have to deal with a backup on dryers. And I'm blow drying his legs and his feet, and he's acting real calm, real relaxed. He's giving me his paw just fine. Well, I get to right at the exact precise moment I put our blow dryer on low. Mind you, it was on low. Towards the base of the tail, he had wet stool. Loose, runny, wet stool.
Which is what I had, but it was more like a small bubble that exploded on him.
And normally, with all the years of my experience, I know to keep the blow dryer nozzle down and away. So if something were to happen like this, it would splatter the wall and not have any backsplash. Well, this time, I guess I was just off my game.
It was the first dog of the week. You gotta expect that.
Dog. I haven't had time to have my coffee yet. And it splattered everywhere, all over my face.
And here's the thing. I always have earphones on. I'm listening to either music or another podcast, because I don't listen to ours. That's just weird. But I will be listening to something, and all of a sudden, Sarah's just, I don't know, she looks like a raptor from Jurassic Park, just shot in her face, kind of look on her face, hands near her face. Give me the water, give me the water. Oh my God, and she's spitting, and oh my gosh, I was just like, what just happened?
I'm holding back the urge to puke at this point. I grabbed the face shampoo. I just poured all over my face, my hair, my bandana.
It was everywhere.
And I'm scrubbing my face. The dog's sitting on the table, which... in our new place,
well, you've seen the video. You've seen videos.
Yeah, from the new place to where the washing tub and the drying table is right there.
Yeah, it's a 180 spin.
Yeah, you can have your hand on a dog there and still have a hand on a dog in the tub. So safety issue is...
Well, what was great is that I was facing the dog. You had the dog I'm washing right by you. So we had the whole situation controlled, but...
And the dog that was in the tub that you were washing was getting so excited. He's, I don't know why we're excited, but I'm excited too. I'm going to lick you while you're trying to wash your face.
It was
so
terrible.
I'm scrubbing my face clean. I just can't get that feeling off. And so Chris hurried up, to do a nice, thorough job, but quicker than usual, to get the other dog fully rinsed so that we can wrap that dog and rewash the other pup again.
Oh, it was a lot. That was a hectic start, but it brought up the whole question of how different dogs have different stresses, and they're all brought up by different things. So that's something that we don't really cover. We've covered it briefly, but we wanted to actually cover this because you may have a dog that has these stresses. So, go on.
After that lovely debacle, and I felt like I almost got my face clean enough to continue the rest of the day, I wanted to quit that day. I've gotten glands in my hair before, or stuff like that. That's
I had a dog really express its glands. Remember that one time? All over me. I had to go home and take a shower. It was everywhere. That was a bad one.
But I've never really had it right in my face. I was lucky I didn't get any in my eyes or my mouth.
Oh, boy.
But,
that's how you get pink eye.
This is the reason why it costs more to get your dog groomed than to have your own haircut. Because when you're getting your hair blow dried, there's no chance of projectile poo is going to splatter your hairstylist's face. So, once we rewashed, we held the dog and really worked with just using one of our kennel dryers to help dry him off while we're holding him and basically brushing and fluffing him at that point because the other dryer was just too much. Once the drying and washing was over with, the dog was perfect. It stood up for when I needed to get groomed. He gave me all the love in the world, but it was the stress that was building up to this point. The washing and blow drying are typically the number one stress issues for the dog. Now, we do have one other dog that comes in, Jasmine. Now, with Jazzy, she gets very nervous being at the groomer, and that's the washing and drying part. So her mom tends to wash him at home. Now, I've got her to sway towards letting us wash and dry Jazzy because we cannot give a proper haircut when it's done at home. Bottle washing does not get the dog nearly as clean as what our proportioner system does. So I can't get the dog as fluffy as I need to give her a proper haircut. And we try to make Jazzy's appointment as stress-free as possible. And same thing with this other Shih Tzu puppy, the other Shih Tzu that came in that had the explosion. That is one type of stress.
Yes.
Did you have anything else to go on
Nope,
that part?
I'm just listening to you.
Okay, well, I'm going to go into the next set of stress. The next type of stress, we have a little Bashan. Her name is Sissy. Now, Sissy suffers from separation anxiety, which is another form of stress. Now, separation anxiety is felt on both ends of that leash. It's felt on the dog's end and the human's end. Her mom is an elderly woman who, Sissy is her world. And she hates being separated from Sissy because she's alone in her home without Sissy. It just destroys her. So that problem transfers through the leash into Sissy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sissy has a problem with barking. She barks a lot. Previous groomer said she stresses out so much that you need to get her in and pick her up.
Which is not true.
Yeah, it's not true. Sissy really, truly does not have much of a stress except for the barking part. And some people don't care for the barking and they want to just send the dog home as soon as possible. So they make this false allegation that the dog's freaking out and you need to get there as soon as possible. So you're telling a woman who is already high-strung about leaving her dog that her dog is stressed while being here.
Yeah, you're just creating more stress.
You're just creating a bigger problem.
Yep.
That someone who comes in like us, who is actually very stress-free life.
Well, we have a very stress-free life, whether it's home or work.
We try to minimize it, and we can deal with our stresses a little bit easier than others. So I've been trying for the past year and a half to get Sissy's owner to relax a little bit and say, you know, it's okay. Sissy doesn't stress out. You don't have to worry about Sissy because she loves her bath. She loves her blow dry. She loves all the attention she gets, and she loves her grooming. She actually wants to get on my grooming table. She wants to come cuddle with us. Yeah,
and see, that's the thing. In these circumstances, you're not only working with a dog. Excuse me. You're not. You're not only working with a dog. You're working with the actual owner as well. You're actually working both sides of it. So you have to actually de-stress the actual owner, which is probably a little bit easier because they're human and they can understand a little bit better.
Sometimes.
That's why I said sometimes.
But if a particular groomer has been telling this person for years that the dog's freaking out, that's the only thing the owner's going to know until we can prove it.
Yeah. You gotta show them.
Right, you have to show them that your dog's not freaking out here, and it minimizes the stress. So with caring hands and patience and love between what Chris and I can give the dogs, Sissy now comes straight through our door and jumps up on us. Yeah. And the owner looked and she goes, Sissy's never done that to anybody. You know, they come up and they jump up. She jumps up on us. This little old Bichon he just goes absolutely bonkers when she sees us.
That's the weird thing for me. Even now, I still have this as a problem where an owner will bring in a dog and the dog will kind of pull away from the actual owner, and the owner lets go of the leash and the dogs come to us. That's always a weird thing for me, because you'd think that, dog and owner, they don't separate, and that's a bond. But the dogs actually run to us, and it's like, oh, I'm with my friends now. Almost kind of like dropping our daughter off at school. She sees her friends and she runs to her friends. Yeah,
she's gone. She wants to be with her buddies.
That's the same kind of attitude that these dogs have.
How many times are we in our grooming room and the dogs are dropping off for boarding, and the first thing they do is they come into our grooming room to jump up on us, whether we're having lunch or if we're grooming another dog.
Well, I saw the little Great Dane that was coming in.
Oh, yeah.
He actually, I was working on a dog, I was drying a dog, and I saw him walk into the actual bathing room. Mm-hmm. And he's, what is he, 10 weeks?
He should be 11 weeks now.
Okay, so...
About 11 weeks old, Great Dane.
Yeah, so he came in, and we've only met him 2 times, and he was already in there going, hi.
Exo.
I can't remember.
I think it was Exo.
Okay, sure.
I can't remember.
But these are forms of bonds that you should be having from groomer to dog, and that should translate from groomer to dog to owner. Mm-hmm. And these are ways of de-stressing. People like to go around saying, oh, we're quick at grooming to minimize the stress. That's not true.
Yeah, sometimes that's not true. There are dogs that you got to get in and out, and there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. That's how it has to be.
But that's not a high percentage.
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
No.
But so the owner saw with her own eyes that Sissy loved being with us. And then we got to figure out, listening to her, she goes, wow, Sissy loves it here. I'm like, yeah, she does. We love having her. This is what I've been trying to tell you for the past year and a half.
Well, yeah, but see, this is where the de-stressing an actual human comes into it.
And then we got to go into a deeper part where it's actually more or less the owner.
Yeah.
Because she explained to us how, her son that lives with her, works at night, sleeps during the day. During holidays, he's even more busy, so he doesn't get to spend time with her. And all she has is her dog. She doesn't drive because she doesn't have the sight for it. And she relies on a neighbor to take her to places. So when Sissy is gone, 10 minutes seems like 20.
Yeah, 'cause that's her best friend, and that's her confidant, that's her everything.
Yep, it's like with Roxy and my dad. When my dad was separated from Roxy, my dad did not like it. Roxy did not like it. And it's just that strong bond. Once it's broken for a short period of time, can seem a lot longer.
Yeah.
So then it comes to light, it's more of her anxiety that causes the issue. And I could be completely sympathetic to that. We try to get Sissy done and out as soon as possible, and yet still play. So the lady who wanted Sissy back within an hour understands, look, I can handle 2 hours without Sissy. And I can control my own emotions for 2 hours.
Well, we do have some people that will park the car and sit in the car until the dog is finished with its groom, which is completely understandable. I mean, if that's what actually will help you, that's understandable. I know I think of Wanda, and with her dog Jake, which we'll talk about Jake in a little bit later, but I think about her now. She's attached to Jake, and she's able to go without him for a couple hours. I don't think that Jake, he wouldn't want to be away from her for more than a couple hours either.
Jake has a special type of stressing out. His is more in anticipation of touching his sore skin.
Yeah.
So he actually is a very sweet dog.
Oh yeah.
As long as you're touching places that have thick hair, he's fine.
But he's one of our special cases that we brought back from highly aggressive. Mm-hmm. But now the other side of stress, and this is unfortunately the stress that really gets us. It's the stress of a dog that's been abused. And there's multiple ways of abuse. You could have, adopted from a shelter and it came from an abusive, previous home. It could have had a previous groomer. And this is the sad one, is that we see enough of these. The previous groomer was abusive. And then what we get is we get a dog that's expecting us to be the same way. And then we have to introduce ourselves. And when you're introducing yourself to a dog, it's a lot harder than introducing yourself to a person.
Yeah, Katie is a Schnauzer. She's a white and gray Schnauzer. She's an older one. I think she's about 6, maybe 6 to 9 years old. And she is a special case. I don't know why the previous groomer was rough on her. All I know is when I first started there, Katie's mom came in just to tell Keith, I am not bringing my dog back. She made it a special trip to swear up and down, left and right, how she's never going to bring her dog back. Keith said, okay, I'm so sorry. There's a lot of things I didn't know about. I have a new groomer. She's professionally trained and she's very good with our dogs. Could you please give her a chance? Give her 2 chances. Because the first groom can go immaculately and the second one not so much. Or the first one be a little difficult and the second one be a lot better. So I looked at Katie. She's shaking. She's in the car just shivering because she thinks that she's getting groomed. That is no way for a dog to have to feel.
And we've mentioned it. Now here's some of the ways that a dog can feel, or not how they can feel. Here's a couple ways that actually are abuse. Grabbing a dog and screaming in its face. That's the first big thing. I don't know why you would do that. The second, and we're always talking about this, putting a high pressure dryer in a dog's face. You're literally pushing the skin almost off of their skull.
Yeah.
Roughly, boy, I am doing terrible. I am not going to get a frozen drink next time I do a show. Roughly maneuvering a dog, pulling him around, pulling the legs, pulling it to different ways. I mean, come on, it's a little creature. It doesn't need to be pushed and pulled and yanked. And these are some of the ways, it's just unnecessary.
Right. And when Katie came in and, her mom has a little bit of a separation anxiety too, because she's dealing with a lot of stuff and she might be, she's got so much going on, she doesn't want her little dog to have to worry about as well. Well, I have seen through trainers over at my previous store out in California and what they did with dogs who were too scared to enter a building. Whether the veterinarian, a pet store, a grooming salon, anywhere where the dog needs to enter an actual home or a business of some sort. So, I just simply said, do you mind bringing Katie to me and let me just meet her out on the grass? And, were you there with me when we did that?
I was working in the back. I remember her coming in. I remember the actual transition.
Okay,
but I wasn't out there.
All right. Well, at first I met her out in the grass. Katie was fine. She had grass under her feet, which is a very familiar texture to the dog because a dog can soak up a lot of issues from their feet. If it's hot and their feet are on concrete, their anxiety level is going to go through the roof. But it was a nice spring day. She got to...
Today feels like a nice spring day.
Well, it might be fall, because I think that...
You know what's great about this episode is that people will hear the birds chirping in the background. Sorry, I'm ADD-ing right now.
So, she was fine with me, and she was fine with me holding her leash. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have to spend too much time doing this. She's fine. So I get up. I said, do you mind if I take the leash and take her with me? I need you to stay out here, though. That's important. I need you to stay out here. She was like, okay. We walk into the salon. We walk out. We walk in. We walk out. We did that about 5 or 6 times. And then she got to go home because she knew she wasn't staying. And we did that one other time. The exact same process. Finally, we got her into grooming. Again, with gentle hands, patience. With Chris's patience in the bathing, my patience in the grooming room, the dog left not fearing of us.
It was fearless.
It was fearless. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not even doing very well speaking either. And now Katie breaks down the door to come see us.
She does.
The mom doesn't have a single worry. She just tells me, just call me when you're done. I'll be at home.
Yeah.
That's it. Not, okay, well, I'm going to time you 1 hour and 30 minutes. I'll be back. Because it takes a minimum hour and 30 minutes for me to groom. 30 minutes for you to wash and dry properly.
It depends on the size of the dog.
Because you gotta let kennel dry for a smaller dog like that. And then an hour for my grooming.
Yeah, you want to make sure that everything you're doing is not going to be rough. And we showed it on videos as well. The size of the dog depicts how much you want to actually on a blow dryer. You don't want a high blow dryer blowing the skin off of them. You want everything to be as gentle as possible.
And that's what takes us a little bit longer to get our stuff done, is because when it comes to certain areas like the rump, the genitals, the face, you gotta take that blow dryer and put it on the lowest setting, and sometimes even take off the nozzle and put it even less pressure, so that we can get everything done. They can get used to it, and it's not a fearful thing.
Right.
But that's been pretty much the different types of stress that we see.
Yes, and we see all three almost in a weekly basis. We'll see somebody come in with at least one of those. At least one dog this week will have one of those three. And a lot of times, like I said, a lot of the stress comes from dogs that were adopted from a shelter that were previously abused. So that's always a rough one.
Or never been groomed. The people just took scissors to it and doesn't know and understand the smells, the sounds.
Yeah.
Just everything in general.
Very true. I got an update for you guys. This past week, if you actually watched the video of our video podcast this week, you noticed Lily and Melody were on this previous episode. Lily and Melody were pups that were brought to us for emergency housing. They came from a hoarding situation. On Wednesday, they were both taken out to St. Louis to an actual rescue. As far as I know, Melody, I think it was already spoken for.
Lily. Lily was a smiling dog. Lily's the one that smiles. I always get the two mixed up. The black and white one.
Look at your dog.
Sunbathing. Katana's sunbathing.
She's just enjoying just being in the driveway sunbathing.
And so Lily, they saw her. They saw how she was in the crate and her smile. People wanted to adopt her pending a meet and greet.
Yes. Now, let me explain for all of you who don't know what a meet and greet is. A meet and greet is very important when it comes to adoptions. I think that every single shelter, everything that comes to adoption should have a meet and greet. Meet and greet is they go to your house, they make sure that everything is safe, that the dog will be in a good environment. Go on.
Yeah, they go and they do a house check.
Yeah.
Like Pikal will have somebody go out to their house, make sure that the house is safe. There's a yard or whatever particular needs for that dog is met. Calling the veterinarian, making sure the previous pets have been taken care of beforehand and such. And then the meet and greet, like you said, is so important because you need to bring your youngest children.
Yes.
You need to bring your oldest children. Whoever's going to be around this dog, you got to bring them because you got to see how they're going to react to your little ones. Some dogs are great with adults. Melody loves adults. Not so much with kids. She didn't mind Claire. She let Claire pet her. She let Claire feed her. She let Claire touch her. But she wasn't lovey like Lily was to the pup, or to Claire. Claire's our pup.
She is our pup.
But, so the family's going to meet Lily. And then Lily's got to get fixed. And, the paperwork has to be processed and everything else, but Lily was pretty much already spoken for.
Yeah. So they've already moved on to their next chapter of life. It was really a rough one for us. I didn't expect this. She had been with us for a week and a half. When she left, it was the first thing that happened on Wednesday morning. Transport came by. Actually, I didn't even recognize the lady until Sarah mentioned it. She works for Missouri Lost and Found Paws. Yeah.
Wait, say it again?
The lady that picked up for transport.
Yes.
Missouri Lost and Found Paws.
Yes.
I thought that came out correctly out of my head into my mouth, but I wasn't sure.
Fantastic lady.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She's a fantastic.
We actually had her friend on that's part of Missouri Lost and Found Paws. If you go back to Strut Your Mutt, you'll be able to hear her there.
So they're off on their own and they're going to get adopted. It's hard being away from them. I'm not used to going out and I used to feed them 3 times a day, 4 times a day.
I remember Wednesday just being so just down. even though I was excited for them, I was just like, oh my gosh, I hate to see them go. But yeah, they've already moved on to the next stage of their
adoption.
their forever home.
Yep.
And I wish them the best.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to move us on to the next chapter of this week's episode, and this is, as Sarah said, February, which is Oral Health Awareness for Pets. I'm going to play you a little soundbite, and then we're going to talk about it.
February is National Pet Dental Health Month, which helps us remember the importance of providing good oral and dental care for our pets all year round. Because many dental conditions are not easily seen and can result in infections and even pain for pets, it's very important to get at least one dental examination from your veterinarian for your pet each year. To keep your pet's teeth and mouth healthy, regular professional cleanings are a must. A professional dental cleaning performed by your veterinarian is a routine, safe procedure that is administered under general anesthesia to create less stress for your pet and to allow the veterinarian to fully clean your pet's teeth and gums. You can also supplement those cleanings with good home dental care when possible. Toothbrushing might be challenging at first, but it's the best way to keep your pet's mouth and teeth healthy in between professional cleanings. If your pet refuses the toothbrush, you can also try tartar-fighting dental chews or anti-plaque water additives. To make sure you have the right dental program for your pet, check with your veterinary team.
All right, so everything that you just heard, very self-explanatory. I don't really need to keynote any of what you've heard. You know, take your dog to the vet, have oral exams, teeth whitening there. You can always look at videos on YouTube, shows what they do. But really what helps out the most is being able to give it some kind of treats, water additive, to actually keep up on this as well.
Every day.
Yes, on an everyday basis. Water additives are really helpful. We'll dive into that in a moment. Chews are very good, but like we were always talking about, make sure they're wheat, grain, soy free, and corn. I always forget the corn.
Wheat, corn, and soy.
Thank you. I always let
Grain
one.
free.
Yes, I always leave one of those out. Because a lot of dogs, and we're always mentioning this, they have allergies. So if you notice, flakiness on the skin,
runny eyes, constant ear infections.
Yep.
Yeah.
All these things are good signs that they have some sort of ear infection, some sort of
allergic reaction to
you.
something in the food or their treats. So I am eager for everybody to hear this interview. Chris was able to do it, and I just was amazed by it. I was listening to him talk, and man, I could have gone...
Not me. You're talking about Derrik from Tropiclean.
Yeah. I could have just listened to him talk the whole time and just learn more about Tropiclean in general.
Now, Derrik is always welcome on the show. I actually encourage, please come on as much as you want. You can be on this show every month with all I care. I could just let you talk, tell us all about what's going on in Tropiclean. I'm a huge fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to going this year to WPVS again. We'll actually run into him this year. I told him we'll meet up with him. But you're always welcome on the show. You pretty much that's a standing invitation, and I don't know why they see something.
They see something that's.
If you haven't heard the dogs, they hear something. I don't know what it is, but they're very protective. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Well, we'd like to thank Derrik for joining us. He is the co-owner of Tropiclean. Thank you very much for joining us on the Groomer Next Door this week.
No problem.
Tell us all about your amazing product, and I cannot tell you how many times my wife and I talk about you during our show. We're always talking about you. We put it in our videos as well. We're big fans of you, so thank you very much for taking some time out for us.
Oh, no worries. Well, like Chris was saying, I am co-owner of the company. Tropiclean has been around since 1990, and it's myself, 3 brothers, and my father who own the company. We joined into the pet industry after being in the beauty care industry for many years, and have found it to be a very pleasurable industry to be in. We started in 1990 with grooming products for the professional pet groomer, and many of those groomers were asking us at that time to come out with them in the retail size. So around 1993, we launched into the retail package, and began to grow throughout retail stores throughout the United States. One cool product that we came out with is around 2003. We had a natural line of grooming shampoos called Tropiclean.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing we saw was kind of a lack in the industry was products that address the skin problems that dog has. So, funny enough, one day my brother came around the corner of my office and he said, "What do you think about a medicated conditioner?" I said, "What should I think about a medicated conditioner?" And he said, "Well, do you think it would be successful?" And I said, "I don't know. Is it actually good?" And he said, "Well, the funny thing is with conditioners, they're meant to absorb ingredients into the skin of the coat." He said, whereas with a shampoo, they actually are meant to wash things off of the skin of the coat, whether it's ionically grabbing that particle and taking it off, or with a detergent like in a dishwasher, just stripping it clean. He said, but every medicated product on the market is a medicated shampoo. And he said, if we could take the same medication, put it in a conditioner, it would allow that medication to be absorbed back into the skin of the coat. So we did much research onto this, and then in 2003 actually launched a line called OxyMed. Our first product was the medicated conditioner. It's called the medicated treatment now. And again, you just simply put it on the coat after you wash the dog, leave it on for about 3 to 5 minutes so it allows it to absorb into the skin of the coat, and we will guarantee that it will stop the itch on any dog for any reason in the first bath. Now, it doesn't solve all the problems. I mean, the dog, if it has an allergy, it's still going to have an allergy. It's going to scratch. If it, has a seborrhea, could still get seborrhea back. But dogs are habitual, and it'll stop the habit of the scratching.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the second unique product line that we brought to the industry. We brought the first ever high-end spa line for the luxurious coat and the people who really want to pamper their dogs with facial scrubs. We were the first company to bring a blueberry facial scrub to the industry. But then we started actually researching a true trend and a need in the care and well-being for a pet. For the next between 2007, 2009, we started really studying the dental category. And we realized, periodontal disease is the number one disease among dogs and cats.
Mm-hmm.
Yet it's the hardest to treat because it's not like even, trying to do your own child. At least you can settle them down and you can, help them understand that it's good to brush their teeth. With a pet, when you walk up to its mouth and you jab a foreign object in its mouth
Mm-hmm.
and try and say, hey, this is acceptable, you're going to be better after this, that animal just does not take it, too pleasing to that type of
Logic.
cleaning and yes, thank you. So what we designed was that we started researching actually dentist and teeth whitening, and we found that there's an ingredient you can use that will help clean the plaque and tartar on a dog's tooth. The problem is trying to get it onto the tooth. So
Mm-hmm.
we found an ingredient called carbapol. Carbapol is just a tacky natural gelatin that is the delivery system for the natural ingredients we put into the gel to help clean the teeth. And you can do this without brushing. So you simply take 4 drops, put it on the teeth, put it on in the mouth. So maybe 2, 1 on each side in the back and 1 on each side in the front. Let the dog, just move this around its mouth for about the next 15, 20 minutes without having any water or any food. Best time we found is, usually in the evening when you go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And within literally 2 to 3 weeks, the plaque and tartar will begin to just literally flake off the tooth.
Mm-hmm.
So we knew we were onto something, so we sent this to the University of Texas and did the studies on it, the clinical studies, and they were off the charts.
Wow.
So in 2010, we actually launched the first non-brushing clean teeth dental product in the pet industry. And we started with that product. We started with a foam. We started with a water additive. And the cool thing is that we found is not only were we cleaning the teeth, but we were strengthening the relationship with the pet owner and their pet. Because have you ever went up to somebody and you're good friends with them, but their breath just was really bad?
There have been a few.
Your response to them at the time is you still like them, but they know there's something wrong. And they're like, after a few minutes, they're like, what's wrong? And you're like, dude, your breath is really bad. Well, it's the same with a pet. They can tell your emotional feeling with them when you come up to them and their breath is really bad. Mm-hmm. So we launched the water additives and the water additive pluses, which you can deliver the supplement to the pet for hip and joint, skin and coat, digestive problems, at the same time as freshening the breath. So you simply take this water additive. It comes in a 16-ounce bottle. Take the cap off, put a drop full into the water, and it's going to add the supplement to the pet at the same time as giving it fresh breath. So that was our latest launch into the pet industry until now. Chris, something you don't know, and I know you gave me a call and you just wanted to talk to me.
Yep.
But one thing that you don't know is we're launching a new product this year called Fresh Breath Drops.
Oh, wow. No, I did not know. I did not know this. So this is going to be interesting for even me.
Yeah, it's really cool. Have you ever been out into let's just say Target or something like that, and seen this product called Mio that you can take a little bottle, put maybe 3 drops in your water bottle, and you drink it, and it's supposed to give you energy. It's supposed to do kind of all kinds of fun stuff for you?
Yep.
We saw a huge issue with the way our people were doing water additives for the pet. They didn't quite know the true measurement. They didn't quite know exactly how to do it. Well, what we've done is we've taken the main ingredient that is in our water additive, and which is, forgive me, but it's chlorhexidine something. I can get that for you sometime. But it's a very natural ingredient. Take that, put it into these little droplet bottles like you would get a Mio, and you simply, as you put 16 ounces of water in the water, and you add 3 drops of this, you walk away, and your dog will have breath instantly, because this goes in and kills off the odor-causing bacteria that are in the stomach, therefore allowing the pet to have fresh breath. It's simple and it's easy, and 99% of pet owners know that their pet have bad breath. And so we're allowing them a way to now handle the repulsive feeling they get when they come up to their pet, or when that pet when you wake up in the morning, that pet gets in your face. So that's our newest launch, and it's not only good for the consumer, it's also good for the stores, because it helps, deliver a solution to a major problem that the pet owner has. So we're excited for that this year, and we, go on our website, tropiclean.com, and look up more information about it.
Oh, I know I will. I know my wife will as well. As soon as because she'll listen to this afterwards. That is an amazing idea. I like a lot of people. Dogs, they love to sleep in the bed with us, and you'll wake up and you'll think that it's your wife next to you, and in turn, it's actually the dog. And then the dog opens its eyes, and just you get that yawn, and oh my goodness, it's like, what did you eat?
That's right.
Wow, that is an amazing thing. Thank you for sharing that. I'm amazed by that. Now, the reason why I actually called was, of course, this is Pet Oral Health Month. And who else besides you would be able to explain that to everybody?
Yeah, excellent. And the periodontal disease is the number 1 disease among dogs and cats. And unless you do something on a regular basis, and you can Google this, just type in teeth cleaning for pet. And the first 3 websites that always come up are veterinarian websites that say you just need to do something on a daily maintenance. And if you just find easy products that make life easy, you're going to increase the well-being of your pet. Just think of this. If you didn't brush your teeth, how long would you live? Because you're going to get diseases that go into your bloodstream, that go into the other organs in your body, cause them to malfunction early in life. How much longer will our pet be with us if we just take care of the dental cavity of the mouth?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
That's what I'm excited about.
Well, another thing that I always think is amazing with you guys is that you're so conscientious on your products. You make sure that it's wheat, corn, and soy free. That way, if there's any allergies to any of those things, those dogs will never have to worry about it. And the pet owners, they're the responsible pet owners. They know that your product is like. That's why we're huge advocates for you guys. We're always talking about you. Ever since we met you back, I think it was September.
Yeah.
It has never stopped. Even right after we did our podcast, that from that actual location, we were talking about you. We were talking about Tropiclean. We have been huge fans of what you guys have done. And of course, we're not kissing up because there's no purpose. We just actually like your product.
Fantastic.
But, I really appreciate giving us the time, telling us all that you're up to. Hopefully, if you go back to the convention this year, we should be there as well. So we'll stop by and say hi if you're there.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing you again.
I do too. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us?
No, I just, you brought up that one thing about being wheat-free, corn-free.
Mm-hmm.
Bad on us at the beginning, we did have a wheat and corn-based treat for probably from 2010 to 2012. And we didn't really know what we were getting into when we got into treats, but that was the big response we got back from people is it's wheat-based, it's corn-based, and, so we actually looked at it. We said, if we come out with a treat that is not this, it's going to have to be more expensive, which could really hurt our sales.
Mm-hmm.
But we looked at it as a conscious move for our company and said, we don't want to sell something that's not healthy for the pet. So we went through the whole year-and-a-half process of developing our chew category, and pleased to say that we've been able to now offer that type of treat, which is a wheat-free, corn-free, gluten-free treat, or gluten-free chew, that not only cleans the teeth, but it's so much better for that. And we're actually excited to say, like you have found out, ours haven't failed. People are choosing our chews over our ones, so we're excited for that.
Yeah, that's what really matters. I mean, especially for the pet owner that's out there that makes sure they really regulate dogs to make sure that they watch the diet. You have products that it could derail that, and you're conscientious to that. That's what makes you guys what you are. That's your responsibility to pets is why we're always so supportive of what you guys are doing.
Well, thank you.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy person. You're always somewhere, but thank you for joining us this week.
No worries. I appreciate it, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, that was just amazing. For one, revealing a new product, that's always exciting.
I did not expect that.
And it's so easy to do this.
Oh, boy.
So easy. 4 drops in the mouth with the gel, water additive, dental chews, and your dog can have healthy teeth. You don't have to worry about teeth cracking, gums being splintered.
Gum disease.
Yes, all these problems. It's amazing.
I have to actually mention this because I didn't have the opportunity to tell Derrik about this, but there was a situation that happened at WPVS, and it really was almost that catalyst of why he became such a huge giant in this industry to us. So why don't you tell what he did for Wanda?
Well, first off, I walked up to him and said, "You don't have to sell me anything. I'm already sold on your product. I just want to know what's new. What separates you from greenies? What separates you from the stuff you can get at Walmart?" And he said right off the bat, it is wheat, corn, and soy free. It doesn't have any of those. And the first ingredient in greenies is wheat. They've been able to find a way to have this bonding agent that keeps all the good stuff together without using wheat. I said, well, that's great. First thought that popped in my head was Jake.
Yes.
Jake has very bad skin.
Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
You're gonna go in the house if you don't stop. So I explained to him Jake's special needs and what is going on and how he goes through one greenie a day. They are very proactive of their teeth and keeping them healthy.
I think Roxy's trying to say that Roxy's a big fan of Tropiclean as well.
Yeah, she wants some chews.
See, we mentioned Tropiclean, and right away she starts barking. Even our dogs know the importance of Tropiclean.
So what he did for us is that he gave us...
Well, he didn't do it for us. He did it for Wanda.
Well, yeah, he did it for Wanda. And he goes, you know what? I don't do this. It's not supposed to happen this way. But here, take this bag of the small dental chews and see how Jake likes it. He was so confident that Jake will like these better than greenies that we will have a customer switch straight to the dental chews.
Now, here's the thing. That previous, let's see, we went out there on a Thursday, so I think it was a Wednesday, because it was the day before we left for the convention. Wanda had come into to the actual shop. We worked with Jake, and she bought, I think it was 3 or 4 bags of greenies.
Yeah, enough to get him through to the next group.
Right. So she bought just enough to get her through. After we met with Derrik, we told her we had a bag that was given by him. She came in, she picked it up on a Monday. That Tuesday she called and said, is there any way that I can return the other bags, unopened bags of greenies, because I want Jake to only use Tropiclean.
Yep, she was sold. You know, at first Jake wasn't quite sure of the Tropiclean chews. You know, when you go from having one particular thing each and every day, it was like with us in Starbucks and Giddy Goat.
Yes, we
loved Starbucks, and then we had Giddy Goat, and at first I was like, well, I still like Starbucks.
Yeah.
So the second time, it was Giddy Goat.
Until we went to Starbucks, and I was like, oh man, this is just not Giddy Goat. Why is that not?
So Keith explained to her we can't get any until our next shipment comes in. So she ended up feeding him the greenies. Well, it just didn't do the same as what Tropiclean did. So we switched her over to the Tropiclean. Now she only buys Tropiclean dental chews for Jake.
Well, we don't carry greenies anymore.
We don't carry greenies anymore because of greenies' wheat factor in the bones.
And here's something off air. When him and I were talking, Derrik and I were talking, I told him, you know, ever since we met you, we used to have greenies. We had Tropiclean and greenies. Ever since we met you, we don't carry greenies anymore. And his reaction was so funny. It was like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I'm completely serious. We don't carry it anymore because it alleviates all of, well, not alleviates, but it almost deters what we're trying to, you know, have out there. Keith makes sure that he only wants to carry quality food.
Right. What the food that is in at Shadowwood is wheat, corn, and soy free. Now, the only grain that is found in any of the food is really just rice, and rice is supposed to be a non-problematic grain. Katana and Roxy both have to have rice in their food or they get upset bellies. Mm-hmm. So our particular dogs have to have the rice. Other dogs can't have the rice, so they switch to a full grain-free, you know, wheat, corn, soy-free diet. Mm-hmm. And then some are allergic to certain proteins, so then they go to the Pure Vita, which is a single source meat, and they go to the bison or they go to the turkey, and such like that. So Keith's looking at his store, and it's basically a health food store for dogs.
Yeah.
So why carry something that has one of the biggest leading allergens for dogs in our salon?
So
or shop.
Salon.
Shop.
Yeah, because we have the whole place of Shadow, it's 3 ways. The boarding, an actual store, and grooming. So it was, you know, if it wasn't for meeting Derrik, learning a little bit more, I mean, I think you were more educated in Tropiclean than I was, because
when Bruce...
You spent a great deal of time with Bruce.
He's a distributor for West Plains. He comes out and he speaks to Keith, and when I first got hired, I brought my big box pet store experience with me. That never dies. You know how to push product. You know how to learn about the product. And if you didn't know something about the product, pick it up and read it. I mean, honestly, you pick it up, you read it, and if you want more knowledge, you go and search it.
Yeah,
and
Google.
You know, as like he said, Google.
Yeah, I'm not the the type like you are. You're really, more of the, you have that sales personality. I'm not in that. I'm more in the, I try to get as much information and educate myself as much as possible so that I don't sound stupid when I'm talking to somebody. As I'll tell you, when you talk to somebody like Derrik, or anybody, but you talk to somebody who has been in this field for so long, who is obviously as educated in pets than you could ever be. I mean, this is a company that researches everything. They make sure their product is 100% to the nose good for every pup. You just want to make sure I don't say something stupid. And so, that's where educate yourself on what your dogs are going to have or what other dogs might have.
See, and there was a couple things that he said that really, opened my eyes, and, there's just certain things but you never really think about.
That is true.
One of it was a strong bond between the dog and human and owner when it comes to bad breath. Dogs can feel when the person doesn't want their face. One of the biggest compliments a dog can do is give you a kiss.
Right.
And if you don't want a kiss from your dog because of bad breath, that weakens the bond between the two. So by following up with the tooth gel, the water additive, and the chews, it will help strengthen your bond between you and your pet, because he doesn't have the odor, that horrible dog's breath, that the dog can lick your face. It's going to be okay, or at least sniff your face and not have to.
And coming from people who have dogs licking their face all week, trust me, we run across a few of those dogs like, oh boy, that you got into the garbage can last night, didn't you? And we wake up every morning. It's like I wake up to Belle right on my chest. I have Roxy, usually pressed up somewhere in my face.
Roxy sleeps on my pillow, and then the 70-pound pit bull on my pillow, and then this other 70-pound Akita laying side by side. We thought once we got Claire out of our bed, we would have the big king-size bed to ourselves. No, the dogs took the spots.
Yeah.
But another thing that brought attention is how they formulated their gel for their teeth gel that they use for replacing teeth brushing. Like he said, when you're putting a foreign object in a dog's mouth, after a while they get used to it, but it's just some things that you just don't want to deal with. You don't want to have to constantly struggle to get the dog's teeth brushed.
Right.
Well, teeth gel, you put 2 drops, 1 on each side of the back, and then 2 drops, 1 on each side in the front.
Right.
And the way the gel is formulated, it's there to cling onto the teeth. The tongue has such jagged ripples from their taste buds. It really moves around their mouth a lot easier, and then it clings onto the teeth. That's why it's important not to let your dog eat or drink 20 minutes after it done.
Well, that's what's great about getting it done at the groomer. Like when I'm doing it, they go through their bath. I do it during the bath. So right when they're in the tub, they get it then. When they're going through dry, it's still there. So there's no way of food there or water. They go in the kennel for the last part of the process, and then go to you for the groom. Mm-hmm. There's a great deal of time that elapses before they go home, and so that way it has a chance to set.
Yeah, it has a chance to set during the wash and the blow dry, and then the water in the kennel. So there's a gap between that. And that is just, I don't know. It blew my mind. Like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. The gel is so important. It clings to it. And then he said after 30 days of using it once a day, particularly before night, after they ate and they done what they needed to do, before they go to bed, get it taken care of. And then the plaque just basically flakes away.
Yep.
And then going through and doing the research and having just amazing results. That's a product you can stand behind.
Yes. And see, one thing I like is, you take your dog to the vet once a year for teeth cleaning. That one time that you're doing it, one day out of 365 days, you should be following up with something else. That's where I think we both can agree Tropiclean is the one thing that you should be doing each time, because your dog will have a very long, healthy life this way. and you're doing everything you possibly can. I mean, we're spending all this money on food and taking care of them. I mean, we've heard the statistics on how much the pet industry, the actual revenue pet industry brings in per year. I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is a multi-billion-dollar
hundreds of millions, I would say. I don't think it goes to the billion yet.
A pet industry?
Is it in the billion?
It's a couple billions.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I thought
Rolene, my one district manager, was talking.
I thought it would be about 500 million, right around there. Okay.
Anywho, no need to talk about numbers, but
but the point is that we spend so much money on our pets every year. You know, it's just a small little thing to actually make sure you're pushing further health for them so that you can have them longer.
And see, I'm gonna admit we're lazy. You know, humans can be very lazy. We go to work and we work our tails off. We come home, we make dinner for the family, we help the kids with the homework, we finish up work that we bring home with us. Life is busy. And
you are so talkative today.
So what better way to make sure you're doing a thorough job of taking care of your dogs?
Come here.
Oh, she's gonna knock the table over.
I didn't mean like that.
Then to do these quick, easy steps. I mean, how hard is it to give a dog a dental chew?
It's not hard at all.
How, now with this new
water
additive that he has coming out, a couple squirts in the water bowl per how many ounces?
16. For a 16-ounce bowl, you put, I think he said 3 squirts. I mean, it's amazing. And
how easy is that? 1, 2, 3, cap on, you're done.
Yeah.
And you continue with your day. It is so easy.
And what's great about it is that little, Mio type size bottle that they're going to be putting out. I haven't seen the actual product, what the product design looks like, obviously. But, if you're going on a road trip and you're bringing your pets, it's so easy just to pack it in a bag. Or you take it to, you take your dog to the boarding, they're going to be boarded for a while. You bring that. And it is a little bit sleeker than the other one. As he said, they were having some difficulties with people that were having problems with the right consistency of how much to put in. This is such an easy way of doing it. And, if you look at Walmart or Target or your local grocery store, you'll notice that size little Mio type water additive that, we use, they have Kool-Aid is done with that. Mio has it. I think there's other companies doing it.
I know Walmart has their own.
Yeah, there's tons of them. So, people are really hooked on this idea. So it was just brilliant. I would have never thought about it. So that's where it blew my mind. So I don't have a date of when it comes out.
We'll keep you posted.
We will keep you posted. Yeah, I would definitely will keep you posted. I do hope that Derrik will come back, tell us more about what's going on in Tropiclean.
Well, I would like to get another interview with him about his shampoos. Because Tropiclean has some amazing shampoos, like he touched on it in the interview. Not to get off the subject of the oral health, but they do have Oxymed, which is an amazing shampoo. We were able to take our Zega, which is our big Newfoundland that we talk about all the time.
We'll do a video on her.
She takes 8 gallons of shampoo to get her thoroughly washed. And some days it takes more depending on whether or not she was out in the mud. But we were able to replace the expensive $26, $29 bottle of shampoo.
Now, here's another thing that I did not talk to Derrik about. So if you are listening, here's another tidbit of things that we do because we actually support Tropiclean so much.
Yep. I asked him, hey, look, let's do this. Can I please try just the regular Oxymed shampoo? It is a soap-free shampoo, and it's an oatmeal base. Try it on Sega.
Do you want Oxymed too? Is that what it is, Roxy?
You want to get a bath, huh? So
Roxy gets like this when she wants to go for a ride, or she's got to go for a ride later. Yeah, never say go for a ride. You want to go to the car? She will start talking like this. She's a very talkative dog.
But
aren't you?
I said if this doesn't work, I'll buy the shampoo and I won't charge you. But I am so confident in this. I think we can take you from spending $30 on a bottle of shampoo to spending less than $12.
Yeah.
And
I love that stuff. I mean, we do have a lot of different customers that have different shampoos. They don't, they have their own kinds that they like us to use. I think OxyMed is my favorite one of all of them.
I yes. I wish all dogs got this, but
I do too.
Zega, since it takes 8 gallons of diluted shampoo to get her washed, basically goes through almost a whole bottle each time. So the customer was spending $30 on top of whatever we charge for the grooming each time she came in every 5 to 6 weeks. We were able to switch it to here. So it went from $30 to $12. And I don't have to feel bad about them having to spend so much. And it does just as good as the stuff that you get from the veterinarian.
Yes.
Zega has a hard allergy, a very bad allergy to any kind of wheat, any kind of corn, any kind of soy, just everything, grains. She likes to sneak out to the barn and eat the grain.
Yes, she does.
And then she just starts scratching her skin. Crazy.
Zega is the longest bath that I have. Of all the dogs that we have, she's my longest bath. And we're talking from, dog to tub, start bath, and dry. We're talking about an hour and 45 minutes.
Yes.
A very long process.
I get her to dematter and do her trimming. It takes me a good hour and a half for that part too. Because Zega is not isn't taken down short. She has her long Newfoundland hair, so it takes a long time, and then bad hips on top of that. But this OxyMed soap-free oatmeal shampoo was amazing. And when she's starting to have issues, I'm gonna get the folks turned on to using conditioner, the particular treatment that he was talking about, the Medicaid treatment, and help with a little bit more of her itchy skin towards the summertime when she has problems with.
Do you want OxyMed? Is that what this is? You want OxyMed conditioner now, huh?
Oh yeah,
girls. Another thing I have to say I think is amazing about Tropiclean. This sounds like a Tropiclean commercial, but this is from people who actually use the product, who are really submersed in this product. We see it all the time. We're using these products, different products all the time. There's only one product that we ever have high regards to, and that's Tropiclean. You can go back to as many episodes as you want. I was going to say something with that, and I lost my... Oh, I remember what it was. I completely spun myself around. The one thing I think is amazing about the company is that the four brothers actually are part of it.
Yes.
And I look at it, I go, I could never work with family. I work with you, and I mean that is amazing to be married to somebody and work together and
but
to
you're also bathing for a couple hours at a time while I'm grooming for a couple hours. And
but I'm just saying
we have our space, but yet we still work together.
Yeah, I can I guess people probably would wonder about us. We can do this without any kind of problem. I just think, man, to have the closeness of siblings to work together. That's an amazing. Just that alone is amazing. Not only is the product amazing, but they can work together and
when everybody gets along long enough, good things can happen from it.
Yeah.
And this is the product of what good working together and understanding each other can do.
I didn't even know that they've been doing this since 1990. That was where I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't know. At the store I was at, I never saw it. Was Greenies. Everything was Greenies. And Greenies are starting to come out with chews that have stuff for hips and joints and such. But Greenies.
But it still seems like it's light years behind what Tropiclean is.
At Tropiclean, you can get particular chews.
Yeah.
That is having like extra flaxseed oil in it, or extra stuff in it to help with skin and joints and all this other lovely stuff. They were able to figure it out first.
Yep. And I mean, if anything, they literally are. Tropiclean is the pinnacle of being pet oral health awareness.
So ever since we met him at the show, or the convention, whatever you want to call it, we have gained Greenies, or excuse me, I keep thinking
See, even we're way off today. I don't know what's up today, folks. We are completely.
We have gotten their dental chews. I'm sorry for that. Tropiclean dental chews.
We have everything
Water
Tropiclean.
additive. We have the medicated, the OxyClean.
Yep.
Or the OxyMed.
OxyMed.
Yeah. We also have some of their spa shampoo as well. They do have a really nifty, luxurious shampoo for dogs who have normal skin. That's for him. It gives off a little cologne smell. It's so cool. That one flew off our shelf real quick. Keith needs to go get another one. But we sell the bottles of teeth gel. We use it for our pets too. We don't use anything else. And it's just better than sticking this toothbrush in their mouth.
I've done the toothbrush on dogs, and it just, you almost you can tell the reaction to them. It's a foreign object in their mouth. They don't like the feel of it.
Well, it's one wrong move, and you're jabbing their cheek. It's until the dog gets used to it. And I've never seen, in all my years, any one particular dog used to a toothbrush in their mouth.
I don't think so.
That's why I love this gel.
Yeah.
It's enzymatic. It gets in there and eats away while it sticks to the teeth. That's what's so great about the way the gel is formulated.
So
it sticks so the ingredients can do the work.
If anybody is taking anything out of this, it's go down to your local store, pick up some Tropiclean, try this on your pets. Because once you actually see the results of it, you're going to say, oh my gosh, the Groomer Next Door, they're actually smart. This is the best product I can find. If you have any questions about what Tropiclean has, you can easily go to the website. As Derrik mentioned, tropiclean.com. You can see all of their products. And you know what? I'm sold with them. I wouldn't use anything on our own pets.
That's not Tropiclean.
Yeah, I wouldn't use anything but Tropiclean.
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to say. Boy. We got one more show to do. Yay! All right, folks. Well, I think that concludes the debacle of episode 65. I hope next week we actually sound better. I do apologize. I don't know. I think this nice weather in February just threw us off.
I know. I'm like, I just want to get Claire on our bike and go down the walking path and
I'm
let her ride
expecting
her bike.
Snow. I don't know why. I'm just expecting snow right now. Not blue skies and just nice weather. So I hope that you guys are all in nice areas where you're having nice weather as well, wherever you're at.
And if you're not, we sorry.
I do know our friend in Finland, she has like 100 million feet of snow. I saw the photo, so I'm sorry. I know you're probably saying, shut up. I'm tired of hearing about your beautiful weather. Of course, growing up in California, this is what it is all the time. So I feel like I have a California, Sunday going on. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining us this week. I'm Chris Green. I'd like to thank Derrik from Tropiclean for stopping by this week.
Yes.
And I want everybody to have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green, hoping everybody realizes life is so short. Play with your pet.
Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.